Welcome to Edutain. In today's topic, we are going to learn about logic and philosophy of logic. To begin, first, let's see what is the definition of logic. The term logic can be identified as the study of inferences and inferential relation. Or in simple words, logic is the study of correct reasoning. Now you might wonder, what is reasoning? Well, reasoning is one that often occurs naturally, and includes inductive, deductive and abductive methods. It's a process of reason faculty. When we draw a conclusion on the basis of other claims. It's an epistemic mental activity that's used when you're inferring one claim from another. For example, you wake up in the morning and you see a heavy snowfall from the sky outside your window. You may draw the conclusion that outside are probably cold. Therefore, the main use of logic is, in any case, to help us to reason well and to draw good inferences. Any part of the logic theory appears to be a set of inference rules. Inference has two parts: a premise is an input and a conclusion is an output. A rule of inference governs the transition from a premise or a set of premises to a conclusion. Rules of inference are often thought of as the alpha and omega of logic. Inferences can be either deductive, that is necessarily truth-preserving, or inductive, that is not necessarily truth-preserving. A deductive argument claims, explicitly or implicitly, that if the premises all are true, then the conclusion must be true. Deductive arguments, thus, aim to establish their conclusions, with complete certainty, in such a way, that the conclusion is guaranteed to be true, if the premises all are true. For example, Susan is Lauren's mother. Therefore, Susan must be older than Lauren. While an inductive argument claims if the premises all are true, the conclusion is thereby probably true, although not absolutely guaranteed. Inductive arguments, thus, aim to establish their conclusions with probability or likelihood, but not with complete certainty. Examples of inductive arguments are found in everyday life. Like, it has been sunny for 10 days in a row, and there are no clouds in the sky. So probably it will be sunny tomorrow. One more example could be, most dogs are loving animals. And Fido is a dog. Therefore, Fido is probably a loving animal. A claim is considered valid if the inference is made in accordance with the relevant rule. However, sometimes it is difficult to tell whether a person's argument is deductive or inductive, because the reasoning is not clearly stated. When trying to decide whether an argument is deductive or inductive, a good rule of thumb is to ask yourself, is the arguer aiming to show that the conclusion is guaranteed to be true, or is he aiming only to show that the conclusion is likely to be true, or probably true, but less than certain? If the arguer's reasoning is expressed clearly, then there will often be words or other clues indicating which type of argument, deductive or inductive, is intended. If a deductive argument is intended, then the conclusion may be introduced with words or phrases indicating necessity or certainty, such as, it is certain that, absolutely, undeniably, it must be, etc. But if an inductive argument is intended, then the conclusion may be introduced with words or phrases indicating probability, such as, the most reasonable conclusion is, probably, it is likely that, etc. But some common phrases are found in both deductive and inductive arguments, and thus do not help much in determining which kind of argument you are dealing with. It must be the case is an example of a phrase you often find attached to both premises and the conclusion of both deductive and inductive arguments. Logic uses terms such as true, false, inconsistent, valid, and self-contradictory. Logic also have some paradoxes, which are known to be as invalid arguments. Now, let's move to the types of logic. Essentially, there are four major types of logic: philosophical logic, informal logic, formal logic, and mathematical logic. When we say philosophy of logic, it is considered to be distinct from philosophical logic, because it is not one of the forms of logic. Rather, philosophy of logic is the area of philosophy devoted to examining the scope, nature, and types of logic, including the problems in the field, and as well as the relation of logic to mathematics and other disciplines, from a philosophical perspective. Philosophy of logic is an investigation, critical analysis, and intellectual reflection on issues arising in logic. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, write in the comments below, and hit the like, share, and subscribe button. See you in the next video.